Alright guys, today we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting. Today we are going to do Guess That Beer, non-alcoholic beer. That's right guys, we have 4 mystery mugs with straws coming out of them that I had my dad fill up, and he filled them up with one of the 4 following beers, and it'll be my job to guess which one is which, and then in this tin right here, it'll tell me what each cup was to see if I got it right or wrong. So I'm sure this will be super interesting. I'm very excited for this, and yeah. So I think first of all, we should go over what these 4 could be, and then we're gonna talk about what I'm going to expect from each of them to be able to tell which is which, and then we'll have some palate cleansing water, and then we'll get into it. So first, what are the 4 drinks that could be in these that I'm going to have to guess? The first one that's in there is going to be, of course, the Big Drop Brewing Company Galactic Extra Dark non-alcoholic beer that I really didn't like. Not a lot of people have seen the video where I reviewed this beer, so hopefully this video does a little bit more just so you guys can hear about it, just because I think it's important that we learn about how awful this is. This is truly the worst non-alcoholic beer I have ever had in my life. So the tell I think I'm going to find is which one will be my least favorite one. It'll be this one. Of course, to get more realistic, to not just sound like a jerk, it'll also have a darker color coming out of the straw, and it will also have more cocoa milky taste, and it'll give me more of a tummy ache just because it does have chocolate and milk in it, which is just weird. Why is that in a beer? So yeah, that's gonna be the tell for this one, and it'll be really easy to find which one's the worst, right? But with the next 3, it's gonna get a little more difficult to try and guess which one is which. For the next one that I think would be the easiest, though, has to be the Stella Artois. Again, this was in the video that didn't get a lot of views, so not a lot of people know about this, I guess, but Stella Artois, it's like a fancier brand. I think it's from Belgium. Super nice. That's what it says on the bottle, at least. Super nice, super fancy, super bougie. As I said in the review, it's a very, I would call it a light beer. It's not a standard strength beer. I know they don't have any alcohol in them, but I just mean like flavor-wise, it's like a light beer. So the tell for this one is probably going to be that I really like it, but it's going to be a little light on the hardness and flavor overall. So that's probably going to be the tell for this one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one out of the Heineken because they're pretty similar, but I think the tell will be this one's a little bit better just because the flavor feels a little bit more pristine, while the Heineken has more of a, like I said in the video where I was reviewing the Heineken, a little more of a, what was the way I described it? I described it as what was it called? It's in a country song. Tailgate kind of drink. That's what it is. A tailgate flavor versus a more classy legacy brand flavor as well. So I think that'll be the tell for it. The lighter one that has a good flavor, but it's super mellow. I think that'll be the tell for this one. The next one up, since I was talking about it, is the Heineken non-alcoholic beer. The tell for this one, I think, is definitely going to be color-wise. Stella Artois, Heineken, and Corona are all very close in color. The only one that I could have a color tell would be this one, and all of them have straws. So, I mean, it'll be kind of difficult to find. And I asked my dad, I was like, hey, we only have 3 red straws, so the one that's like this, just use one of them that looks a little more yellowishy, so it'll stand out a little bit better. So this one is going to be, I know it won't be the Big Drop Brewing Company, that's one tell, but like I said, I think that'll be an easy one to guess. But for this one, I think we're going to be looking for a mellower, lighter taste, kind of like the Stella Artois, but we're going to crank the flavor to be a little, The bitterness to flavor ratio is going to be similar to the Stella Artois, but the flavor itself, I think, is going to be a little bit messed up, so I think it'll taste a little more tailgate beer, kind of football kind of beer instead of a legacy brand kind of fancier beer. But I think this will be an interesting one to find, and I think I should be able to. I've had these enough to kind of know, so I should be able to do this, but if I get all of them wrong, that would be super embarrassing. The next one up on the list is my favorite, so I should be able to tell this off the bat purely just because it's my favorite, but is the Corona non-alcoholic beer. This one is very good. It has more bitterness than the rest of them, so that'll be one tell. The flavor to bitterness ratio is where I prefer it. And also, I think the flavor of the Corona non-alcoholic beer, I'm jumping my words, I'm so sorry for that, guys. The flavor of it, I think, is the best. So we're going to look for the best flavor, the most rich kind of malty flavor that doesn't taste too nasty, but has a nice mellow vibe. And yeah, and also this is one of the only ones that has less than 0.5% alcohol, while the Heineken and the Stella Artois are 0%. So these two are the ones that are going to have some alcohol in it, and we'll be able to taste that properly. So I don't really have a lot to say before this. I guess I think we should just really get into it, you know? Let's not waste any time. This is probably going to be a shorter video just because I'm not really doing a review per se, but who knows, maybe I'm going to get stuck trying to guess them and we're going to be there for a while. So I think we're going to crack open this Kirkland Signature Water. Very refreshing, I will say. This is purified water, so no flavor, but that's okay. Don't worry, the water tier list is gonna come up soon, okay? It's gonna be fantastic, all right? The only editing I'm really gonna do is I wanna add text once we start it, where it's gonna say which is which, so you can kind of play along, or not play along, but just kind of know and just see me trying to guess. So that'll be some editing that I'll have to do, but that shouldn't be too difficult. It's just one frame, you know, it's not that difficult to work with. Yeah, I'm really excited to do this. This looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a little like mini game almost, kind of like a Mr. Beast challenge, but you know, it's gonna be fun, and I think it's something new. And I think when you're doing kind of like semi-daily content, you need to keep things fresh. You know, you gotta keep doing stupid things that really just are interesting and stupid and fun. And so this is one of those ideas. I actually have a lot of ideas cooking up of things I want to do soon. Some silly ones, some more serious ones. I looked up some non-alcoholic beers that I wanted to review, like Blue Moon has a non-alcoholic, a White Claw has a non-alcoholic, so I would want to try that as well. So there are a few that I do want to try, so I'll get into those. But I've been wasting too much time just yapping. Without further ado, let's get into the Guess the Beer Challenge. We're gonna find out which one of these is which. Which one is the Heineken? Which one is the Corona? Which one of these is the Stella Artois? And which one of these is disgusting? I mean, Big Rubber Brew Company Galactic Extra Dark. Sorry for that, guys. Just trying to be a little funny here. But let's just hop into it, you know? Let's stop beating around the bush and really get into it. I think we're going to go from my left all the way to my right, and we're going to go through and get our first impressions, and then we'll do round two to start guessing. All right, here we go. All right, so we're starting off with number one. Let's see. What do I think of the flavor of this mystery non-alcoholic beer? Sweeter flavor-wise. It's a little bitter, though. This is either, well, I don't want to make guesses yet. Sweet, a little bit bitter. Flavor to bitterness ratio, I can't tell if it's good or bad, honestly. This might prove to me that Corona isn't my favorite. Oh, I don't know, because I'll get into that later. But I think I know this one is, which this one is. All right, so I think I'm going to continue reviewing the first one real quick. Now that I've had a couple more sips, describe the flavor. The flavor to bitterness ratio is more mellower, kind of like Stella Artois or Heineken, I think. But the flavor's a little tart. So, you know, I'm just going to start calling out guesses. I think this is the Heineken, but we're going to go through and keep going. I think this is the Heineken. I was between the Heineken and the Corona, but then I was like, nah, I think this is Heineken. So now we're going to try Mystery Drink 2. Which non-alcoholic beer will this be? Let's get into it. Actually, we gotta have a palate cleansing drink real quick. Don't want to get my flavors mixed up. Oh. Interesting. I don't know. I think it's got that nice bitterness that I do enjoy. I think that might be the Corona. I think. This is going to be really difficult, actually. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I kind of thought they had a... Like, when you're trying them and you're really overthinking and trying to review them, you can describe the flavors very in detail individually for each of them, and they will be different. But now that they're all sitting in front of me, they all just taste like beer. So, oh gosh, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. We're going to keep going, okay? We have our thoughts about this. I think this is Corona, because it has nice bitterness to it, but I'm not too sure, to be honest. Let's try number 3, see what this is. I think that's... I don't know. I really don't know. Wow. Yeah, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. Dang. Now I'm starting to second guess. I think one of these might have been a Stella Artois instead, because this doesn't feel super light. And we already got Corona and our Heineken. So this might be something else. I don't know, one of these might have been Stella Artois. I think I have my things jumbled up a little bit. You know what? No matter. We guessed that one. Let's have a palate cleansing water. And since I haven't had anything nasty, I'm just going to assume off the bat that this is Big Drop Brewing Company coming up on number 4. I think this is going to be the nasty one, so let's try it. Yep. I can taste the cocoa and the... Ugh. Alright, well, I'm just gonna put this here because I know. So then there were 3. And I'm gonna actually tilt the camera down just a little bit to kind of reveal and pull these back a little bit too, just so you can kind of see what we're working with. And I'm going to place my guesses on the screen. So I think this is Big Drop Brewing Company. Have that drop facing this way. Now to kind of accurately try and guess the rest of these, which I will admit is probably going to be a little bit difficult. Now that I have had all 3, now that I know this one, let's go through these again and really try to figure out each of their flavors in more detail, just so we can really properly make a guess. It's not going down happily, I will say. I think this is one of the ones I don't really like. That'll be really funny if that's Corona. That will be really funny, not gonna lie. But I'm starting to think this is Heineken. I'm just gonna put this here for now. This is just a guess. No hard answer, but that's just a guess. The reason why I put Heineken over there is it's not going down happily, as the first note. The second note is, while overall mellow, it has my least favorite flavor, which is what the Heineken is. Besides this one, this is my third least favorite. It goes Corona, Stella Artois, Heineken, and Big Drop. This is my least favorite of the more standard non-alcoholic beers. Its flavor profile is just not wonderful to me, in my opinion. So I'm going to guess that this is Heineken, but it could be Corona and I'm crazy. That could be the case. And if that is, that would be extremely embarrassing. So we're going to try these two and try to figure out which is which. I think the best tell will be which one I think is a bit stronger, a bit bitterer, more bitter to flavor ratio than not. Whichever one we can find out which is light and which is not, we will be able to discover which is Corona and which is Stella Artois. That will be the way we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna surprise myself with this one. I know I haven't said anything for a little bit, and I put this one here. And wow, it is kind of big in frame. I think this is Corona. And the reason why I think it's Corona is because immediately as I tasted it, I was like, this is good, this is good. And I felt the Corona flavor come through, and I also felt its bitterness kind of come through too. I could feel it in the back of my tongue. I felt that bitterness that comes with the Corona non-alcoholic. I could feel that less than 0.5% working, okay? That less than 0.5. Excuse me. I am drinking a lot of beer. You have to forgive me. As I said before, I really am tasting that bitterness, and I'm also tasting that better flavor too, that more high-quality flavor that we get from the Corona. I am tasting that, so I'm going to put my money on that. And that remains this to be Stella Artois, right? I'm not convinced that this is Stella Artois. I'm still thinking one of these is Heineken. And it's truly showing that maybe I don't like Stella Artois that much. Because, I don't know, maybe it's like drinking from a bottle or something. Or like, I really don't know, honestly. But I'm convinced this is Corona. I'm convinced. This is where it's going to get dicey. The hardest part about this is that the Heineken and the Stella Artois are both, I would consider, more light beers. I don't know if I actually stated that in the shower video, but I would consider Heineken to be a light beer, all right? And so because of that issue, they're both light. So now it's just minute flavor difference. And I think I just have to find which one has the less luxurious flavor in it. And once we can discover that, I think that'll be when we will find which is which. So we just have to kind of, I don't know, we're gonna have to figure this out. It's gonna be really difficult. I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. This is gonna be hard. Okay, let's keep sipping away and we're gonna figure this out. All right, here we go. Actually, I need to take a break for a second. I do need to figure out what I'm going to do for the thumbnail. So real quick, I'll be right back. All right, I figured out what I'm going to do for the thumbnail. What I'm going to do for the thumbnail is I'm going to get the original glasses that we used to pour them. I'm going to stick the straws in there, and then I'm going to put a blindfold on, and that'll be the thumbnail. I think that'll be a better thumbnail because I do want these glasses in the thumbnail. Just these mugs would look boring. I had to think that through. That was on the mind, and if I didn't get that off my mind, then I wouldn't be able to focus on figuring out which one is worse, because that's what we need to find right here today. I'm going to have some Kirkland Signature Purified Water, not gonna lie. We're gonna have some of this stuff, and we are going to cleanse our palate, and we're going to figure out which of these is which. I'm gonna even put the Heineken back over here, because I am still not sure which is which, and we have to find out which one is which. That was really cold for some reason. I don't know why. All right, lock in. Here we go. Ugh. Maybe that's Heineken. I started to feel a bitterness from this one that's akin to a Heineken from letting it sit in my mouth for a second. But that's also just how malt beverages work, to be fair. Letting it sit in the mouth has actually helped a lot. off the bat, I think what I'm discovering, excuse me, I think what I'm discovering is that I think this might have that more bitterness that the Heineken carries compared to the Stella Artois. Not in bitter maltness, but in bitter as in the flavor. They're both about equal bitter to flavors ratio, but I would say that the flavor, bitterness itself of the flavor, I think is worse on this one. So I think this is Heineken. And this is Stella Artois. I think that's the roundup. And I think that I got them right, to be honest. I really do think I got them right. I'm pretty convinced I got them right. So, quickly, I'm going to finally lock in if I really think each of the following is each of the following, except for this one. I'm not doing that for this one. I do not want to have this again. I'm going to have to anyways. It's okay. We have to do it for the video. Let's start with what I think the Stella Artois is. Yep. Lighter. Decent flavor. I think it's Stella Artois. Bit stronger in the flavor, but still lighter. I would say this is the lightest beer. This one is I don't want to say it's a light beer, but it's like in between because it still has some standard kick of like a standard beer. Bitter flavor though. So I'm going to say this is Heineken. I'm going to get a palate cleanser real quick. Wow. I look like such an alcoholic until you look at the non-alcoholic. So I'm actually a non-alcoholic. Get the joke? Okay, I'm going to keep going. Yep, this is what I think the Corona is. It's also, one thing about Corona, it has a little more carbonation than the rest of them. I don't think that really comes from how it's packaged or anything. It's in a bottle. Genuinely, it just has like more of a carbonaty, bubbly trickle down the throat. I think that has more to do with the flavor rather than its actual carbonation. So, yeah. This is what I think the Corona non-alcoholic is. And then this... You can even see it. You can see in the straw that it was the darkest too. Oh. All right. Now, I am going to open up the tin that has the answer to what each of the mugs is. This mug has a duck on it. What I think the Galactic Big Brew Company is. What I think Corona Cup has some houses on it. The Heineken Cup has some words on it. And then the Stella Artois Cup, what I think is Stella Artois, has a flying duck on it. This one has a sitting duck on it. So we're gonna also, this is a acid cigarillo that my dad got, but we're just using the tin. Don't smoke underage unless you're with family. Is that legal? Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's also bad for you, so. Anyways, here are the answers. Burduck. What? Huh? He has awful handwriting. Yeah, he does not have great handwriting. Alright, I'm just gonna take these tops off to kind of look at them. Maybe that'll help with the guessing. Alright, so off the bat, we can see that is the Big Drop Brewing Company. So we got that one right. No way. Insane, right? But the rest of these three actually look very similar. But the Stella Artois is a little bit less yellowy. And you can kind of tell that, but Burduck. No way. So the building cup here, this cup is Heineken. What? No way. Okay. All right. The blue duck is Stella Artois. So we got this one right. That's 2 right. And the wet Irish. Oh, Irish. This is Corona. Wow. I don't like Corona, apparently. Oh. Yep. I'm getting it now. Yep. I should have known. The reason why I like this one more, and even though I just said I don't like it, now that I realize why, it's because I usually like the throwback feeling of it, and when it's colder, it's a little bit warmer, I will admit. So I wouldn't say this proves I actually don't like Corona. This proves that the Heineken isn't as bad as I thought it was. I think it's really good, actually. I'm actually a big fan of it, apparently. I just didn't really know. I think it was a bit of a placebo, just because, first of all, this looks cooler than this, so maybe next time I'm going to do a separate review of the review of the bottled of Heineken to see if that makes it better. Maybe the can is just not the way to experience it. Personally, I think the better the glass, the better it'll taste. Also, glass, I think, just does a better job at making it taste good. So can, I don't think it does a good job. So maybe that could be part of it because it's poured into a thing or something, but wow. That was really interesting. So we got half of them right and half of them wrong. And I am surprised. What did we learn today? We learned that I am a fraud and I actually don't like Corona. And I guess it was just because of the bottle or because I thought of the name brand. And I actually do really like Heineken, apparently. So I also learned that Heineken isn't as light as I thought it was. Heineken has a little more of a bittery taste, more than I gave it credit for in my last review. So that does tell me a lot about the Heineken. So that's very interesting. I'm going to have a little more Heineken nowadays just to really try it and really think about that when I have it, just because it did win my overall favorite flavor before I knew which was which. So that's super interesting. The Corona also, whoa, the thing just flew out. The Corona, the note to give is that I guess its flavor isn't as good as I thought it was. I mean, I'm always just like throwing it back, like kind of like this, like, and kind of giving it a wig, and that kind of makes it yummier for me. This one's gonna bubble up. That's not good. Oh boy. But man, I don't know. That really tells a lot. I think that says that my new favorite is Heineken, but I cannot say that for sure now that I know, just because once I found out the flavor came back in, so it is part placebo of why I like the ones I like. And, you know, that's okay. That doesn't make me weird or anything. You know, you can like whatever you want to like. So, man. But that does tell me that I was able to properly guess the Stella Artois. So that's good. And I was properly able to guess the Big Drop Brewing Company. No way. So that's interesting. But that does say that Heineken is competing with Corona. It's kind of like the comparison between like Coke and Pepsi. Like you put them to which one's which, people kind of get them intertwined, but then they say that they hate Pepsi and love Coke. I'm personally a Pepsi fan when it comes to sodas, by the way. I'm a bit of a weird guy. I'm weird and strange and different. I know, it's so cool. But yeah, no, I am shocked by these answers. I think it tells us a lot, and I think we've learned a lot today. And I hope you learned some stuff today too. So I really hope you guys enjoy. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to add the text. I think I want you guys to guess along with me. No, I think it'd be more funny for everyone to be mad at me. Like, how did you not know? That would be more fun. So I think I'm going to include the text, maybe like halfway through or something. We'll decide on that. But this video probably isn't going to come up today either because it's already 10 o'clock. So me editing it will take some time. So or I might just thug up and just do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know that this is a longer video. I was worried I couldn't even make it past 15 minutes. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and please leave a like. Please subscribe for more daily content. We're trying to pump out content every day, mostly about non-alcoholic beers, more content about like Red Bulls and other caffeinated drinks that I like, food reviews, other drink reviews, you know. If you have any suggestions for video ideas, just leave them down in the comment section below. But please, if you are a frequent viewer, you do like the content, but you have not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell. We're trying to do daily content, except I do tend to film my videos at night, so every other day-ish kind of content, but there will be a good flow of content. I will be sure of that. So thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the journey along as we realize that I am a fraud and I actually like Heineken. So thank you very much, guys. You have a good night, all right? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.